Have you ever found yourself sort of caught in a peculiar psychological loop
Hmm.
where the same frustrating patterns keep playing out in your relationships, maybe? Or certain reactions just seem to erupt from within you?
Yeah, almost automatic.
Exactly, like an old tape hiss, completely out of your control. It's that really gnawing feeling of knowing intellectually that you should respond differently.
Right. You know it up here.
But somehow you just can't. What if unlocking these deep-seated, often bewildering patterns was far simpler, more accessible,
Mm,
and maybe more profoundly empowering than you've ever dared to imagine?
that's a really compelling question.
Today, we're not just dipping our toes, we're taking a full, exhilarating plunge into a central idea that cuts straight to the very heart of human dynamics and self-understanding.
Yeah, really fundamental stuff.
We're talking about the surprising simplicity behind how we feel, how we think, and crucially, how we interact with every single person in our lives.
It sounds complex, but the framework itself is quite elegant.
It is. And this isn't just theory, it suggests that our final status, or as the influential book we're exploring calls it, AAA.
That's a Persian title, right?
Yes, that deep, abiding, unwavering sense of truly being okay with ourselves and the world.
Yeah.
It's not some elusive, unreachable dream.
Oh, it's presented as achievable.
Exactly. No, it's something genuinely, tangibly within our grasp. It's all about grasping a powerful, almost architectural blueprint for our inner world.
A blueprint for how it shapes our reality. Yeah.
Our deep dive today is inspired by the profound, almost revolutionary insights captured beautifully on the cover of a truly landmark book by Thomas A. Harris.
A hugely influential book.
Hugely. It's a work that has resonated so widely, its wisdom transcending cultures and languages, which is a testament to its universal truth, really.
Absolutely.
You can see its striking Persian title, AA, prominently displayed alongside the esteemed translator, Ismail Fassi. And you absolutely cannot miss that intriguing, almost iconic three-circle symbol standing proud on the cover.
That symbol is key, isn't it?
It really is. That symbol, my friend, is far more than just a logo. It's a visual shorthand, a powerful key to the very core of this transformative concept.
A map, almost.
A map,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's precisely what we are going to meticulously unpack today. Okay, let's unpack this layer by fascinating layer.
That's a good. Where do we start?
Let's jump straight into the foundational, almost philosophical idea that underpins every single concept within this incredible framework.
Okay.
The book's core message, encapsulated by its English title, which is the powerful implied translation of ta, is a statement so deceptively simple, yet so profoundly radical and empowering.
Mm,
I'm okay, you're okay.
Right. Simple words, massive implications.
It rolls off the tongue like a mantra, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But trust me, it's far, far more than just a feel-good affirmation or some fleeting moment of positivity.
No, it's much deeper than that.
This is a truly revolutionary perspective on how we fundamentally perceive our own intrinsic worth and equally how we authentically engage in our interpersonal relationships.
It's about a baseline level of acceptance, isn't it?
Yes. It suggests an inherent baseline level of mutual acceptance that, once truly embraced, has the power to fundamentally transform how we navigate every single facet of our world.
It's absolutely true. And, Ia or I'm okay, you're okay isn't a static state of mind. It's not like reaching a destination and then you're simply done.
Right, it's not a finish line.
No. Instead, it's best understood as a dynamic, active position, a conscious stance you choose to embody moment by moment.
So it requires ongoing effort.
It does. It's about cultivating a deep, unwavering sense of self-acceptance, a profound belief in your own inherent unconditional worth, simply because you exist.
Unconditional is the key word there.
Absolutely. And simultaneously, extending that exact same unconditional acceptance and respect to others.
Both sides of the coin.
Both sides. This dual acceptance is absolutely fundamental to fostering healthy, authentic, and truly productive interactions. Whether you're dealing with your family, your closest friends, your colleagues.
Even a stranger on the street.
Exactly. Even a fleeting exchange. What's truly fascinating here is how this seemingly straightforward phrase, I'm okay, you're okay, actually serves as a profound, almost countercultural challenge.
So?
Well, it challenges so many deeply ingrained societal and personal narratives that we've all, consciously or unconsciously, absorbed since childhood.
The conditioning.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So often we're taught implicitly through media or explicitly through upbringing, that our worth is conditional.
Right. You're only okay if...
Exactly. If you achieve certain milestones, if you look a certain way, if you behave in specific approved manners, or if you gain external validation.
Mm-hmm.
This framework, however, boldly declares no. Your okayness is inherent, it's non-negotiable, and so is everyone else's.
Wow. That's quite a statement.
It is. And it raises an immensely important question for all of us. If so many of us, by default, start from a place of feeling not okay, at least in some aspects of our lives.
Which many people do feel, I think.
Oh, absolutely. How do we consciously, deliberately, and actively move towards this profoundly liberating and authentic okayness?
And that's precisely where Thomas A. Harris's work truly begins to shine, offering not just a philosophy, but a practical roadmap, isn't it?
Yes, it provides tools, a method.
How does this idea, this perspective he champions, provide what feels like a genuine shortcut to understanding why we think, feel, and act the way we do?
Well, it gets under the hood, so to speak.
It's not just about some transient feeling of being good or happy in a fleeting moment, is it?
Not at all. It's about building a stable, deeply rational, and emotionally resilient basis for living.
Something that can weather the storms.
Exactly. One that can genuinely withstand the inevitable ups and downs, the criticisms and compliments, the successes and setbacks of life. It's about peeling back the layers to understand the underlying psychological mechanics that either tragically reinforce our not okay feelings
A negative.
or, conversely, powerfully propel us towards this state of true, self-actualized okayness. It truly transforms how you view yourself and your place in the world.
It sounds incredibly foundational.
Precisely.
Ah.
And if we zoom out and connect this to the bigger picture, this I'm okay, you're okay position isn't about some forced saccharine positivity.
Like putting on a brave face.
Exactly. Where you simply tell yourself everything is fine when it clearly isn't. It's about embracing a deeply understood psychological reality.
A reality that might be hidden.
Often obscured by early conditioning, yes. But a reality that can absolutely be achieved and, more importantly, can be consciously sustained.
But it takes work.
It requires genuine self-awareness and deliberate, consistent effort. It's about recognizing that while we all start from a certain life position, often unconsciously shaped
By childhood stuff.
by our earliest childhood experiences and the feedback we received, we possess the innate capacity, through conscious self-awareness and applying this framework, to transcend those early limitations.
So we're not stuck.
Not at all. It's a profound shift from unconscious, habitual reaction to conscious, intentional choice.
Choice. That's powerful.
It is, building an unshakable foundation of internal security that then allows for truly genuine, empathetic, and effective engagement with the outside world. It liberates you from old scripts.
Okay, so if I'm okay, you're okay is the profoundly desirable destination. Let's talk about the map, the framework that guides us there.
Let's do it.
As we mentioned, the cover of Yuki has the very distinctive, almost iconic visual, those 3 stacked circles.
Can't miss 'em.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because those 3 circles are the conceptual heart of the entire model. They represent what are known as ego states.
Right. Parent, adult, child.
It's almost like our personality isn't just one monolithic, unchanging thing, but rather a dynamic collection of different ways we can be.
Different modes, you could say.
Different modes through which we experience and interact with the world. Yes.
That's a powerful way to frame it. Ego states are, in essence, distinct and observable patterns of feeling, thinking, and behaving.
Observable being a key word.
Absolutely. It's absolutely crucial to understand these aren't merely roles we put on or fleeting masks we wear for different situations, only to discard them later.
So they're real.
They are genuine, palpable, psychological realities residing within us, each a complete system of interconnected thoughts, emotions, and behaviors.
Wow, a complete system.
Yes, they are deeply rooted in our past experiences, particularly our earliest interactions, memories, and the unconscious tapes we recorded in childhood.
Those tapes again.
Those tapes again. These ego states profoundly influence how we perceive the world, how we interpret events, and most importantly, how we respond to every situation we encounter.
So they're constantly active, potentially.
One is usually dominant in any given moment. When we talk about these ego states, we're referring to the very real and observable ways our internal world manifests in our external actions and reactions.
Okay, so let's meticulously break down each of those circles, starting from the top, and consider what each one truly means for our daily experience.
Good plan. Let's start with the parent.
First, we have the parent ego state. Imagine this as the internalized voice of all the significant authority figures from our childhood.
Parents, teachers, grandparents.
Our actual parents, our teachers, perhaps older siblings, even broader cultural norms or religious doctrines. This state is like a vast library of tapes. It holds all the learned rules, the often unquestioned judgments, the criticisms we absorbed.
The shoulds and oughts.
Exactly. The shoulds and oughts, but also, importantly, the nurturing impulses, the comforting affirmations, and the permissions we receive.
He's got both sides, the critical and the nurturing.
Right. When you hear yourself uttering phrases like, you should do this, or you ought to behave that way, or if you find yourself offering unsolicited advice.
That finger-wagging feeling.
Yes. You might be operating from a critical parent state. Conversely, when you offer genuine care, unconditional support, or gentle guidance,
The comforting arm around the shoulder.
that's your nurturing parent state at work. It's often where our inherited values, beliefs, and even prejudices reside.
And this parent state can manifest in so many subtle ways. Think of someone who consistently gives advice, even when not asked,
Oh, we all know someone like that.
or who expresses disapproval through just a sigh or a certain look. That's often the critical parent.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, the nurturing parent is evident in the comforting hug, the patient listening, or the encouraging words that say, "It's okay, you've got this."
That makes sense.
The key insight here is that these aren't just external behaviors. They stem from deeply ingrained internalizations of how we were parented or observed others parenting.
It's like we absorb them.
Ex-
Then, right there at the bottom of the stack, we find the child ego state.
The feelings part.
This is, in many ways, the complete opposite of the parent. It's the raw, unfiltered reservoir of our earliest emotions, our spontaneous feelings, and our primal impulses.
Where the kid in us lives.
Totally. It's where all that childlike spontaneity, uninhibited creativity, and pure, unadulterated joy live.
Well, fun stuff.
The fun stuff. But it's also, crucially, where our earliest experiences of fear, anger, sadness, vulnerability, and even helplessness reside.
The not-so-fun stuff, too.
Right. When you burst into uncontrolled laughter over something silly, or throw a tantrum in frustration,
We've all been there.
or feel a surge of irrational fear or intense vulnerability, you are almost certainly operating from your child state. It reflects our very first, most unfiltered emotional experiences of the world, preserved like an emotional time capsule,
And like the parent, the child state has its nuances. There's the free child.
which is the spontaneous part.
Yes. The source of our passion, creativity, and authentic expression. The part that wants to play and explore. Then there's the adapted child.
Adapted how?
It learned to modify its behavior in response to parental figures, either by complying excessively to gain approval,
The good kid.
the compliant child, yes,
Yeah.
or by rebelling.
The rebellious child. Right.
An example of the adapted child might be someone procrastinating on a task, not out of laziness, but because of an unconscious childhood fear of failure or criticism.
Feeling overwhelmed like a kid would.
Exactly. Feeling overwhelmed just like a child might. Or perhaps always seeking external validation, unable to say no,
People pleasing.
due to an early belief that their own needs weren't important unless others were pleased. That's often the adapted child at play.
Fascinating. And then, crucially, right there in the middle, connecting and balancing the other two.
The linchpin.
And this is key because on the book cover, it's the filled circle, often vibrantly depicted in orange or yellow, the adult ego state.
The rational sense.
This is our rational, objective data processing center. It's the part of us that engages with the present reality calmly and logically.
The here and now processor.
Yes, it uses objective facts, calculates probabilities, assesses situations as they are now without the emotional baggage of the child.
Or the judgments of the parent.
Or the ingrained, often outdated judgments of the parent. Exactly.
Right.
It's the here and now calculator, constantly gathering information, testing hypotheses, and making decisions based on current facts and logical analysis.
This is the ego state that allows for true problem-solving and adaptive behavior. It's our executive function, in a way.
Right. And it's not about age. You stressed that earlier.
It's immensely important to emphasize that. Those aren't age-related concepts. This is not about chronological age whatsoever.
So a CEO can have a child state meltdown.
Absolutely. A grown adult, someone well into their career and seemingly mature, can easily find themselves reacting from their child state when they feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or scared.
Throwing metaphorical toys out of the pram.
Exhibiting behaviors that would seem typical of a 5-year-old, yes. Or they might slip into their parent state, delivering unsolicited advice or criticism with an air of authority that echoes their own upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, a literal child, faced with a novel and complex situation, might occasionally operate from their adult state,
Really? Like how?
processing information logically and responding in a surprisingly mature way for their age. If I do this, then that might happen. That's adult thinking.
Wow.
It's all about how our personality is structured internally and, crucially, how it manifests in any given moment, regardless of our birth certificate.
Okay, can you give us a quick, relatable example to tie it all together?
Sure. To give you a quick, truly relatable example from daily life, imagine a simple scenario at work or home. If a colleague is late for a meeting,
Okay, common scenario.
one person might react by slamming their notebook shut and muttering under their breath about the irresponsible behavior.
Ah, the judging.
That's a clear manifestation of a critical parent ego state, judging. Another person might simply start pacing nervously, biting their nails, feeling their heart race and thinking, oh no, what if this ruins everything?
The panic.
That's the anxious child state, reacting with primitive fear. But if someone else calmly says, okay, the meeting was scheduled for 10 a.m., it's 10:10 a.m., I'll set a quick message to check in, and in the meantime, we can review the agenda.
Problem solving.
That is the adult ego state at work. Calm, rational, focused on present facts, and immediate productive solutions. It's amazing how often we shift between these without even realizing it.
That's such a profoundly clear distinction, and it makes so much sense. So take a quick, honest moment right now, you listening. Take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you reacted in a way that felt almost automatic?
Yeah, that knee-jerk reaction.
Something you perhaps even regretted or wished you could take back later? Was it an overly critical comment you made to a loved one, almost like your own parent's voice speaking through you? Or was it an overly emotional outburst, a moment of pure, unbridled frustration, sadness, or joy that felt almost disproportionate to the situation?
That child energy taking over.
Which of these ego states, parent, adult, or child, do you genuinely think might have been driving that reaction? Knowing is more than half the battle. It's truly the very first, most powerful step towards conscious change.
Awareness is everything.
Have you ever felt stuck in a loop where your reactions felt completely out of your control? As if you were just replaying an old script, helpless to change the ending? Drop a so in the comments if you've been there, and tell us which ego state you think it was that kept you stuck. We'd truly love to hear your experiences and insights.
Yeah, share your thoughts.
So we've thoroughly explored these fascinating inner states. The parent, the adult, and the child. We understand how they reside within us, like different inner voices or modes.
Our internal committee.
Yes. And how they profoundly influence our individual thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors. But here's where the human drama truly unfolds. How do these inner states actually play out when we talk to other people?
The interactions.
When we interact, when we try to connect, or even when we clash? This is where the brilliant, illuminating idea of transactions comes in.
Right, the basic unit of communication.
And it's where the real magic of understanding the complex, often messy dance of human communication truly begins. It provides a crystal clear lens through which to view almost every conversation you'll ever have.
That's absolutely right, and it's such a powerful concept because it transforms what can feel like incredibly complex, even chaotic interactions into something surprisingly tangible and understandable.
Makes it less mysterious.
Exactly. A transaction in this framework is simply defined as a basic unit of social interaction. Think of it as a stimulus and a response, a psychological exchange.
Like a conversational tennis rally.
Kind of. One person's ego state, through their words, their tone, their body language, or their actions, sends a message. That's the stimulus.
Okay.
That activates a specific ego state in another person, and then that second person responds back from their activated ego state. That's the response.
Got it. Stimulus response between ego states.
Understanding these transactional patterns is the absolute key to unlocking communication dynamics, resolving conflict, and fostering deeper connection. There are two primary types that are foundational to this understanding: complementary and cross.
Complementary and crossed.
Yeah.
Let's start with complementary.
First, we have complementary transactions. These are the interactions where communication flows smoothly, almost effortlessly, because the ego states involved align perfectly.
They match up.
They match up. For example, if I speak to you from my adult state, asking a factual problem-solving question like, what's the most efficient way to achieve this outcome by Friday?
Okay. Adult question.
And you respond from your adult state with a factual, logical answer. Based on the data, option B seems most viable. And here's why. That's adult to adult,
Clean communication.
efficient, clear, satisfying. Or consider another example. If a child is feeling overwhelmed and asks their parent for comfort from their child's state, maybe with a plea like, "I'm so scared, I don't know what to do,"
Child needing help.
and the parent responds with nurturing care and reassurance from their nurturing parent state, saying, "It's okay, I'm here, we'll figure this out together."
Parent providing comfort.
That's a parent-to-child and child-to-parent exchange, also complementary. What's truly fascinating here is that these are precisely the conversations where you feel genuinely understood,
That feeling of connection.
where there's an intuitive resonance, a feeling that you're on the same wavelength because the communication is direct, unobstructed, and meets the underlying need. It just works.
Okay, so that's when it goes right. What about when it goes wrong? The crossed ones.
And then conversely, we have the ones that often lead to friction, the problematic ones, the cross-transactions.
This sounds familiar already.
This is precisely where communication frequently breaks down, leading to frustration, confusion, arguments, or even outright conflict, precisely because the ego states involved don't align.
The wires get crossed.
Exactly. Imagine this scenario. One person speaks from their adult state to another person's adult state, asking a perfectly rational, objective question, like, "Could you please tell me when that report will be ready? I need it for the 3 p.m. meeting."
Standard work question. Adult to adult.
Standard adult to adult. But instead of responding from their adult state with a factual answer, the other person unexpectedly shifts and responds from their child state.
Oh.
Maybe whining, "Why are you always nagging me about that? You know I'm busy and I have so much on my plate."
Oof. Defensiveness.
Or they might respond from their critical parent state, sternly retorting, "Don't you dare tell me what to do. I know perfectly well when to get my work done."
Wow, okay. Big reaction.
Exactly. If we step back and connect this to the broader picture of daily life, these cross-transactions are often the very root of persistent arguments, chronic misunderstandings,
Those fights that go nowhere.
and seemingly unresolved issues in our personal and professional relationships. Both parties in a cross-transaction often end up feeling profoundly unheard, completely invalidated, or even personally attacked.
Because the message didn't land right.
Because the message that was sent wasn't received by the intended ego state, and the response given wasn't what was expected or appropriate for the initial stimulus. It creates a sort of psychological static,
Yeah, you can feel that tension.
a palpable tension that makes genuine connection and productive dialogue incredibly difficult, if not impossible. This raises an incredibly important question for all of us.
Which is?
How much of our daily frustration, those moments where we just feel stuck, misunderstood, or like we're hitting a brick wall, actually comes from these crossed wires that we're not even consciously aware of in the moment?
Probably a lot more than we realize.
I suspect so. The incredible, almost transformative power of this framework comes from recognizing which ego state you're operating from, and even more powerfully, accurately discerning which ego state the other person is speaking from.
So you can diagnose the conversation in real time.
Essentially, yes. It allows you to consciously adjust your communication strategy for a smoother, far more productive, and ultimately more satisfying outcome. You can literally course correct mid-conversation.
That's huge. Let's make this concept even more vivid, more relatable, with a common anecdote, like the classic couple and chores example.
Perfect. Think about a couple arguing about household chores, a classic scenario. One partner, let's call them Alex, might calmly ask, from their adult state,
Okay, Alex is being rational.
"Honey, the bills are piling up and the kitchen sink is overflowing. Can we sit down for 10 minutes and discuss a plan for tackling these things together this weekend?" That's a direct, adult-to-adult invitation for collaboration and problem-solving.
Seems reasonable.
But if their partner, Jamie, responds from their child's state, perhaps whining, "Oh, why do we always have to talk about chores? You're always nagging me, it's not fair." That's a classic cross-transaction.
The child-to-parent response.
Exactly. Jamie didn't respond adult to adult. They responded child to parent, even though Alex wasn't trying to be a parent. The intention was adult, but the reception was childlike.
Got it.
Or, alternatively, Jamie might respond from their critical parent state, sighing dismissively, "I already told you I'll get to it when I get to it. Stop bothering me with such trivialities."
Parent to child dismissing Alex.
Right. In both of those alternative scenarios, the communication immediately breaks down, and frustration quickly builds because the intended message was redirected to an unexpected and unhelpful ego state.
And then it just escalates.
The conversation instantly spirals from productive problem-solving to an emotional or judgmental standoff. leaving both parties feeling unheard and resentful. Understanding this allows you to step out of that loop.
It really gives you a way to analyze those frustrating moments.
It does. It's incredibly practical.
If this deep dive into understanding our inner states and these fascinating, sometimes frustrating interactions is truly hitting home for you so far, do us a quick, profound favor right now.
Yeah, let us know.
Tap that like button and hit subscribe. It genuinely helps the deep dive grow, allows us to reach more curious minds like you, and lets us keep bringing you in-depth content like this every single week.
We really appreciate the support.
And we're always eager for new intellectual adventures. What kind of topics related to personal growth, human psychology, or perhaps even historical insights would you absolutely love to hear us unpack next? Drop your suggestions below in the comments. We're constantly reading your feedback and finding incredible inspiration there.
Definitely let us know what you're interested in.
Okay, so we've thoroughly explored the 3 essential ego states that reside within us and how they engage in this intricate dance, sometimes harmoniously, sometimes tripping over each other during our daily transactions.
The parent, adult, and child in action.
But Thomas A. Harris's groundbreaking work delves even deeper than just these immediate interactions. Beyond these individual states, he introduces the profound concept of life positions.
Ah, yes, the 4 positions. This is really core stuff.
These aren't just fleeting moods or temporary attitudes, are they?
Not at all. They are fundamental, deeply held, often unconscious beliefs we carry about ourselves and equally about others.
Our basic stance towards life.
You could say that. And it's here that the discussion truly brings us full circle back to the central transformative idea of I'm okay, you're okay. They are the filter through which we perceive all of life.
Wow. Okay, tell us more about these life positions.
That's an absolutely excellent point because these life positions are like the underlying operating system of our entire personality.
The default settings.
The foundational code that dictates our general outlook and our habitual ways of relating to the world. They are generally solidified very, very early in childhood, often before we even have conscious memory.
Based on those early experiences?
Based on how our fundamental needs were met, or unfortunately not met, and the crucial messages, both verbal and nonverbal, explicit and implicit, we receive from our caregivers and our immediate environment.
So they run deep.
Very deep. These deeply ingrained positions shape our entire worldview, our expectations of life, and our predictable relationship patterns. Harris outlines 4 primary life positions.
Okay, the 4 positions. Let's hear them.
Each with significant implications for how we experience and navigate our existence. First, and perhaps the most common starting point for many individuals, is the position of, I'm not okay, you're okay.
I'm not good enough, but everyone else is.
Essentially, yes. This position typically develops if a child experiences a significant deficit in positive stroking or positive reinforcement, or if they feel consistently criticized, inadequate, or shamed, while still perceiving their caregivers or the outside world as generally competent, capable, and perhaps even superior. It's a pervasive feeling of inferiority.
A core belief of inadequacy.
A core belief that there's something inherently wrong with me, but everyone else seems to have it figured out. People operating from this position often constantly seek external validation and approval.
Trying to earn their okayness.
Exactly. Apologize excessively even when not at fault, struggle deeply with imposter syndrome, or might try to please others excessively at their own expense, hoping to finally earn that elusive okayness.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. The second position is, I'm not okay, you're not okay.
Ooh, that sounds bleak.
This is a truly despairing, often nihilistic position. It can arise from a childhood where basic physical and emotional needs were not consistently met, where the child experienced neglect or extreme inconsistency,
A really tough start.
and where the external world was also perceived as chaotic, unpredictable, or even actively hostile. It's a profound feeling of helplessness, futility, and resignation.
Like giving up on everything.
The internal dialogue often sounds like, life is pointless, and so am I. There's no hope for anything or anyone. Individuals operating from this position may withdraw socially, feel chronically hopeless, or exhibit extreme cynicism and apathy.
A deep sense of meaninglessness.
Yes, a pervasive sense that nothing truly matters and no one can genuinely help or be trusted.
Okay, what's the third one?
The third position is, I'm okay, you're not okay.
So I'm fine, but everyone else is the problem.
Precisely. This position often develops if a child received conditional love, perhaps being overly indulged without clear boundaries, leading to an inflated sense of self-importance.
Entitlement, maybe?
Could be, but coupled with negative or abusive experiences that taught them others couldn't be trusted or were inherently flawed or weak. It's a position of superiority,
Characterized by blaming.
often characterized by a strong tendency to blame others,
Mm.
manifest contempt, or an intense need to control situations and people. The internal mantra might be, I'm right, you're wrong, and it's always your fault.
Doesn't sound like fun to be around.
People in this position might be domineering, overly critical, dismissive, or even persecutory, always finding fault with others while seeing themselves as blameless and above reproach. They rarely take responsibility for their own mistakes.
Right. Okay, so that leaves the fourth one, the goal.
Finally, we arrive at the healthy, realistic, and profoundly productive life position, the one that is truly implied by the book's very title, The I'm Okay. You're okay.
The balanced perspective.
This position is not a naive Pollyanna-ish optimism, nor is it a blind acceptance of everything. Rather, it's a deeply ingrained, rational belief in one's own inherent, unconditional worth and the inherent equal worth of others.
Mutual respect.
Yes, a position of mutual respect, acknowledging equal value, and possessing a profound capacity for genuine, empathetic connection. Crucially, and this is a key insight,
What's that?
this is the only one of the four positions that is not formed passively in early childhood through unconscious absorption.
So you have to choose it.
Instead, it is consciously chosen, actively built, and consistently sustained through the deliberate, consistent functioning of one's adult ego state.
It's an adult achievement.
It's a conscious decision backed by rational thought and emotional understanding that you are inherently valuable, capable, and worthy, and so is everyone else, regardless of circumstances or external achievements. It is the foundation for true psychological health.
That's an incredibly powerful distinction, that these aren't just fleeting moods or transient states, but these are deep-seated convictions, almost like the operating system of your psyche,
Your core programming.
that truly influence your entire worldview and dictate how you approach every single interaction, every challenge, every relationship. It's like having a default setting for how you see yourself in relation to the rest of humanity.
And realizing you can change it.
And realizing you can actually change that default, yes.
And what's truly fascinating here, and often quite sobering, is how these early formed positions frequently dictate our scripts in life.
Our unconscious life plans.
The unconscious pre-written plans or patterns we live by. These scripts often lead us to repeat certain outcomes, certain relationship dynamics, or certain emotional responses.
Like being stuck on repeat.
Almost as if we're unwitting actors following a pre-written play, unable to improvise. The ultimate goal, as beautifully implied by the book's title, AE, the final ultimate state of being,
The last status.
is to actively choose and consistently build towards that I'm okay, you're okay position. It's about consciously stepping out of those limiting childhood scripts
Rewriting the play.
and becoming the author of a new, far more empowering and authentic narrative for yourself. It means you can break free from patterns that have held you back for decades.
That's a truly huge transformative concept. So if these life positions are like our deeply ingrained internal programming, and the reality is that most of us, to varying degrees, start from some form of a not okay position.
Whether inferior, despairing, or superior.
Right. How exactly do we embark on this journey? How do we actively, practically, and consistently move towards this I'm okay, you're okay place?
It sounds great, but how do we do it?
Exactly. It sounds incredibly appealing, a true beacon of psychological health. But how do we actually get there from here? What's the practical day-to-day pathway for someone listening right now?
This is precisely where the adult ego state becomes our most powerful tool.
The rational part takes the lead.
Our internal compass, our sophisticated navigation system. Remember, the adult is our rational, objective data processing part, the part of us that engages with the current reality.
Okay.
It's the part of us capable of observing our own thoughts and feelings with detachment, evaluating situations without bias or emotional distortion, and most importantly, changing our responses in real time.
So it's the agent of change.
It really is. It's not about trying to erase the parent or child states. They are inherent, valuable parts of our psychology,
We need them too.
providing us with wisdom and spontaneity. Instead, it's about empowering the adult to manage, integrate, and guide them.
The adult is the conductor of the orchestra.
Beautiful metaphor, yes.
Yeah.
The first crucial step on this journey is challenging old tapes.
Okay, examining those beliefs.
Our adult ego state has the unique capacity to actively evaluate the tapes stored in our parent state, those ingrained prejudices, irrational rules we inherited, or outdated prohibitions.
Things we just accepted as true.
Exactly. It can ask piercing questions like, is this belief I hold truly factual now in my current adult life? Is this rule that dictates my behavior helpful now? Is this judgment I'm applying to myself or others fair, accurate, and relevant in this present moment?
Putting them on trial, basically.
In a way, yes. For instance, if you constantly hear an inner voice saying you're not good enough, your adult can examine the evidence. Is that truly universally true? Where did that thought come from? What facts support it or contradict it today?
Looking for the fact.
Similarly, the adult can evaluate the tapes in our child state. Those irrational fears, outdated emotional responses, or impulsive reactions that might have been necessary for survival as a child.
That don't work now.
But are counterproductive as an adult. The adult steps back and asks, is this intense emotion appropriate for this specific present situation? Is this reactive behavior actually serving me? Or is it merely a leftover automatic response from childhood that keeps me stuck?
Shining a light on the automatic reactions.
It shines a clear, objective light on these often unconscious drivers of our behavior.
Okay, challenging tapes. What's next?
The next vital component is taking responsibility.
Boning our stuff.
The shift to I'm okay, you're okay is fundamentally an active, conscious choice, not a passive discovery. It's not something that passively happens to you. It's something you decide moment by moment to actively build and embody.
It's a decision.
And this absolutely requires taking full, unequivocal responsibility for our own thoughts, our own feelings, and our own behaviors.
No more blaming.
It's a powerful move away from externalizing blame, pointing fingers at others for our unhappiness, or perpetually feeling like a victim of circumstances beyond our control.
That victim mentality can be pervasive.
It can. When you authentically stop blaming and start accepting responsibility for your internal world or how you choose to process and respond to reality, you gain immense personal power. You reclaim your agency.
Taking back control.
Exactly.
And that leads to?
And this naturally leads directly to conscious choice.
Choosing how to respond.
The journey to you is profoundly about moving from reacting automatically, often impulsively, from those old ingrained parent or child states.
The knee-jerk reactions.
To consciously choosing responses from the adult. This means developing the crucial skill of pausing, even for just a few seconds.
Creating that space.
Observing your internal state, identifying which ego state is currently active, and then deliberately deciding how to respond in a way that is rational, respectful, productive, and aligned with your present goals.
Instead of letting the old tape play.
Rather than just letting an old emotional tape blindly play out, it's about discernment. Knowing when to tap into the spontaneity and creativity of the free child, when to access the nurturing wisdom of the nurturing parent.
Using all parts appropriately.
But always with the adult firmly in the driver's seat, evaluating, integrating, and making the final deliberate decision. It's truly empowering.
So it's almost like being a seasoned detective of your own mind, constantly observing, gathering evidence about your own predictable patterns.
I like that analogy.
And then consciously deciding to rewrite the script, or at least choose a wildly different scene to play out in your life's grand drama.
Taking the pen back.
You're not just living on autopilot anymore, merely reacting to external stimuli or internal tapes. You are actively, intentionally steering the ship of your own life.
That's the essence of it.
That detective analogy is incredibly powerful. Does that imply a constant, exhausting vigilance, though? Or can this process become more intuitive, a natural way of being over time?
That's a crucial question, and it speaks to the long-term impact of this work. While it absolutely requires conscious effort and vigilance in the beginning.
It feels like work at first.
It does. But over time, as you consistently practice engaging your adult ego state, as you challenge more old tapes and take more responsibility, this way of interacting with yourself and the world becomes increasingly intuitive.
It becomes more second nature.
It becomes less like active detective work and more like a finely tuned internal navigation system running smoothly in the background.
Okay, so it gets easier.
If we connect this to the broader picture of personal growth and well-being, this deep dive shows us that the journey to Aya is not a one-time event, not a destination you arrive at and then forget.
It's ongoing.
It's a continuous, dynamic process of self-awareness, rational adjustment, and conscious practice. It's about consistently engaging your adult ego state to calmly process reality, to critically evaluate your internal programming,
Keep checking in.
and to make deliberate choices that consistently align with a position of mutual respect and inherent worth for yourself and for everyone else. This framework provides an exceptionally clear blueprint for building that solid, resilient foundation within yourself,
That okay foundation.
from which you can then truly interact with the world and others from a profound place of genuine strength, empathy, and unwavering respect. It truly changes everything.
What an incredible journey we've taken today, unpacking the profound yet wonderfully accessible ideas found within the enduring wisdom of the book, Hivi.
All sparked by those 3 circles.
All starting with that simple yet powerful image of 3 circles on its cover. The core message really is a game changer, a profound truth waiting to be discovered. The power to truly transform our lives.
And our relationships.
And the quality of our relationships lies directly within our understanding and our conscious, deliberate management of these intricate inner ego states.
Understanding is the first step.
The tooth of Aya, that ultimate, truly okay position, isn't some passive, blissful state you simply stumble into or are lucky enough to be born with.
It's not luck.
It's an active, empowering choice that you make day after day, moment after moment.
A conscious choice.
What if you started paying exquisitely closer attention to which ego state you're operating from in your very next conversation?
I'm just noticing.
Whether it's with a challenging colleague, a beloved family member, or even just a quick interaction at the grocery store. What if you actively tried to engage your adult state?
Bring that rational part online.
To seek out the objective facts, to listen with true objectivity, or to consciously connect directly with the adult in someone else, rather than allowing old limiting patterns to blindly dominate your reactions.
Instead of just reacting child to child or parent to child.
Exactly. Think about that for a moment, the incredible freedom, the profound connection, and the authentic peace that comes from truly living from a place where you consistently affirm both your own inherent worth and the inherent worth of others.
Bad, I'm okay.
Oh.
You're okay reality.
Okay. Imagine the deeper, more meaningful connections you could forge. The drastic reduction in misunderstandings and conflict.
Less static on the line.
And the genuine sense of calm that can flow from embracing that fundamental I'm okay, you're okay position. This isn't just abstract theory. It's a practical, actionable path to a more fulfilling, more connected, and profoundly more conscious life.
Absolutely.
This is just the beginning of truly understanding the depths of your own potential and how powerfully you can choose to show up in the world.
There's always more to explore.
If this deep dive gave you something truly meaningful to think about, share and please leave a comment.
Let us know your takeaways.
And remember, this is just the beginning.